Hello, everybody. Welcome to another great episode of Distilled, Brewed, and Reviewed. You are in my world-famous sipping den, and today I'm also doing a world-famous coffee review. On this channel, I do everything that has anything to do with alcohol and coffee. It's amazing. What's more amazing is I'm the only one in the world that can do it, but I do it. And I put together a playlist that is so categorized, subcategorized for you to find all the categories of everything review quickly and easily. So I challenge you. Check out that playlist. I also pin the first comment of every video because I always have a link to the playlist that pertains to what I'm reviewing. In this case, not only coffee, but coffee finished in whiskey barrels. All right. Stave and Bean. What does this say? Stave and Bean, Kentucky, USA, established 2021. Roast level medium, single origin, single barrel. Washed and patio dried. Finished, it's Honduran coffee finished in Peerless Rye barrels. Right, it's aged in there. It is roasted by Quills Coffee. Now, little thing here, our Honduran beans come from Cafe De Mi Pueblo. Since 1850, the beans have come from the Rodriguez Tercero family, which is now run by the family's children and grandchildren. Aged in a rye whiskey barrel from Kentucky Peerless Distilling Company. The aromatic profile was hand-selected by our own John Wadell out of their single barrel program before making its way to our beans. The beans were put in the barrel and aged to perfection in a real Kentucky rickhouse. That's interesting because even if you just walk in a rickhouse, you're on a tour, you work there, whatever, you'll smell the bourbon, of course. And after a while, it'll infuse onto your clothes and your hair and stuff. Like when you get home, you'll smell it. And, take a shower, wash your clothes. The point is, even if this coffee was sitting in a barrel that didn't hold rye in the rickhouse, it would be absorbing some of that flavor. Let alone it's actually in a barrel that held the rye and then aged in the rickhouse. Very interesting. The beans are put in our barrel and aged to perfection in a real Kentucky rickhouse. Once the aging was completed, the beans were taken to our local coffee shop, Quills Coffee, and roasted to a medium roast to ensure the best flavor profile. Now, this is Quills. It's one I haven't done yet, all right? I don't know if you can read it. The light looks like it's killing it. But it says Yuletide, so I gotta get this done, right? Anyway, Quills is a local Louisville coffee shop / roaster. That's who they use to roast their beans. Now, let's smell this. And I like that they have the green, rye is always green. Now, put it this way too. Let's see if there's any off-putting flavors, if it smells good. Does it taste like rye? I don't think it's going to taste like rye. But does it add a complexity to coffee that isn't normally aged? I'll be able to tell that. You got to remember, too, if you look on my playlist and you see that I've reviewed 300 coffees, that don't mean I tried 300 coffees. I mean I've tried 5,000 coffees. Most of the time, I'm drinking coffee with family and friends and exotic places and common coffee shops, and I'm not reviewing it. I review a small fraction of everything I actually try. My point is, I'll be able to tell if this rye process that they've done with the barrel and the rickhouse has imparted anything in here. All right, that you can rest assured. All right. Classic coffee taste or smell. Let's get that out of the way. Rich, freshly roasted. All right. There's a big difference between freshly roasted and something that's ground. You bought it at the grocery store, it's just fine. I do it all the time. But maybe it's 5 years old. That is not going to have this aroma, period. Okay, this is fresh. It's from the area right here. Roasted, and I just ground it 5 seconds ago. So it's rich, it's deep. It's chocolatey. It does have a rickhouse type smell to it. All right. Here is the coffee itself. Still smelling, although I have really taken over my senses sticking my nose in that bag. That bag was rich. Still, nice coffee, rich, deep essence, nice oil sheen on top. Done in a French press. And again, there is a barrel whiskey type influence on the nose. Now, the other thing I'll tell you, and I don't do this if I'm not reviewing something, okay? But if I'm reviewing something, everything that this coffee touches gets scrubbed. Let's talk about the grinder. I take the piece out that the grinding ground coffee falls into, and I scrub it, and I dry it, and I make sure there's no odor to it. I clean the whole grinder. I try and get as much grinds out as I can, and then I will take the coffee that I'm about to review and run it through it a couple times, put it in my infinity coffee grinder thing that I have that I just mix everything together generally. And then I'll do another grind through it to get the pure, to make sure it's not tinted in any way from a previous coffee review, just so you know. All right, let's give this thing a taste. Looking for several things, but let's do that as an acclimation sip. All right, low acidity. It's good. It's a great sipper. No, very slight bitterness, just enough to add a perceived sweetness in the front, probably coming from the whiskey influence. There is a woody, barrely influence to this, and definitely an influence from the whiskey itself, all melding together with the fresh coffee taste. Makes one good cup right here. Put a little cream in it, see how that changes or brings out any flavor. Ooh, it does. It always does. Brings out that whiskey. That's what I put in. Oh, just enhanced it. The fat enhanced the flavors and added some creaminess, a little bit of vanilla tint to it. Now the vanilla is really shining. A little caramel, a little wood, a little smoke. It's really good. All right, another fine job. Oh, you know the most important part, and I screwed this up, is that this was donated again from Eric, and excuse me, anyway, Eric has donated, talking about Mr. Toller, whiskeys, scotches, bourbons, now coffee to the show. He's become an integral part of this show here. So I'd like to thank Mr. Eric Toller for this coffee. And as always, don't forget to subscribe, and I'll see you all on the next one.